Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Tuesday, and we have some stuff that we're going to go in and talk about for tonight. Starting off, as always, what's on tap for tonight? What is on tap for tonight? Well, we will talk about our frost and freeze risk tonight through Wednesday night. We'll also talk about some clear and cold conditions as we go all the way from today into tomorrow. Um, Then we will also talk about gradual warming trend that goes on from Thursday onward, and then a backdoor cold front possible as we go into early next week, or maybe like a little cold air damming situation here. So all of that will occur, and we'll talk about all of this as we go into tonight. But you don't see anything that says big cold. Well, you don't see anything that says like big storm system, heavy amounts of rainfall. You don't see anything like that. It's all temperature based. I said last night that the systems as we go forward into the future, aren't going to be too much precipitation based. And, obviously we will get precipitation in the future. Obviously, I'm not saying that we're done forever, but like we will go on and just see a dry period as we continue throughout the rest of this week. So, all of that, all of the main stuff that we're going to talk about tonight is going to be temperature based. So let's go on and see what's currently going on. Right now, nothing. Nice and dry right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina. But if we scroll our way out, see what's going on, we do have some snowfall going on throughout Minnesota. Iowa, Illinois is included in there, as well as Wisconsin. We also do have some snowfall up here in the Great Lakes area. Some rainfall in Washington State, as well as Idaho and Montana. Also some rainfall in Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas. Rainfall down in southern Florida as well. And then for the most part, that's about it. I mean, we're dry over here in the southwest, the south central U.S., dry for the most part in the southeast. So it looks like it's pretty nice. If we go on and look and see what's going on throughout the state for cloud cover, well, cloud cover right now seems to be showing a more kind of like coastal area balance right now. Coastal areas, maybe the little bit of the inland areas, low country, Grand Strand, a little bit of the eastern PD areas have some cloud cover, but looking like the Midlands, looking side of the upstate, not really seeing too much in terms of cloud cover activity. And so, what will that mean for our future? Well, if we go on and start this off here at 9 o'clock p.m., you can see as we move our way forward, kind of looking like the same thing that we just saw just now. But if you want to push this forward, this goes all the way through. Here's 11 o'clock p.m., moving all the way through to 2 o'clock in the morning, going all the way to 4 o'clock. Look at how the state starts to get covered right back up in terms of cloud cover activity as we go into tomorrow morning. That continues all the way to 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Cloud cover now trying to move its way out of the upstate, but you are still seeing cloud cover inside of the southern Midlands, the low country, as well as the Grand Strand and the PD areas. We continue our way through even to 1 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, going all the way to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday. And again, more and more cloud cover just trying to move its way over into the east. The upstate does have some cloud cover here and there, but not as much usually. We continue all the way through into Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning, seeing a little bit of a clearing going on throughout the entire state, but cloud cover will be back as we go into Thursday morning, going on throughout the upstate, and it will try to cover its way back up as we go all the way into Thursday afternoon. So cloud cover is still going to be with us, and we will have some clear moments here and there. Everybody will have, their moments where sunshine is peaking nice and brightly, but there will be some cloud cover during the daytime. Now, what about for our current temperatures? Starting off here in the low country, around a good 43 in Somerville, as well as 46 in Sumter, 47 Beaufort, and 49 in Hilton Island. You also have around a good 45 in Georgetown, 43 in Orangeburg, and even around a good 43 inside of Conway, 46 Myrtle Beach, and 46 in Murrells Inlet, 43 in Florence, and even 43 in Sumter, 44 Columbia, and 40 inside of Newberry, 39 in Greenwood, and 40 in Clemson, Anderson, 39 in Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, 40 York, and Rock Hill. Air quality for tonight, looking like we are good to go. All inside the good category, so nothing to worry about here. Low temperatures for tonight, very, very chilly tonight. Obviously, with those calmer winds coming in, it's not going to be too much of a wind chill going on, but low temperatures. You see around 28 in Greenville, 28 Spartanburg, as well as 27 in Anderson, Rock Hill, 28 Lawrence, Greenwood, Newbury, Winsboro. 30 even inside of Columbia, 29 in Aiken, 28. Barnwell, 29 also in Sumter, Florence, 28 in Girard, Dillon, 31 in Georgetown, as well as 36 in Charleston, 38, Hilton Head Island, and 33 in Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow, you have around 50 in Greenville, 50 Spartanburg, as well as Rock Hill, 50 inside of Winsboro, Lawrence, Anderson, 51 in Newbury, and 53 in Columbia, 51 Sumter, Florence, 52 in Kingstree, and 54 in Moncks Corner, 55 Charleston, and 58 inside of Hilton Head Island, 53 in Aiken, and 53 also inside of Georgetown, 50 in Myrtle Beach. Rainfall as we move throughout the next 24 hours, not expected at this time. Not expected at this time. So we're not expecting any sort of rainfall activity for the next 24 hours, as it looks like that we will continue to just see nice and dry conditions. Nice and dry conditions as we really go throughout tonight. And that will continue as we go into tomorrow in terms of rainfall accumulation. So no rainfall gear is expected or needed. Now, what about for the crazy score? If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how crazy the weather is right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And right now we're at a 22. Why? Well, number one, it's going to be widespread freeze and frost conditions. Sub-freezing temperatures expected. Freeze warning is in effect for a good amount of the state. For most inland areas, it includes advection, radiational freeze. If you remember radiational cooling, kind of could put two and two together and kind of get that radiational freeze tonight, especially in those clear areas and with these light winds as well. Clear winds northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming light and calm overnight. So strong radiational cooling is definitely expected tonight, and with no precipitation as well. Now, as we go into the SPC outlook, thunderstorms are not expected tonight, tomorrow, or Thursday, so we are good here. Don't have to worry about any sort of thunderstorm activity. Fire weather, same thing. We're not looking for anything here. And excessive rainfall, have no concerns for any sort of excessive rainfall as we move throughout the next 5 days. So let's look at the models now. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. We go in and push this forward, and you can see immediately nice and dry conditions moving through tonight, moving through tomorrow morning. We get into around 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night. Still nice and dry. Moving all the way into Thursday. Nice and dry. Thursday afternoon. Nice and dry. So we are looking at some very good conditions as we go throughout the next 48 hours. So you will not need that rain gear with you. Now, in terms of the long-term future, because, there's not really a whole lot to talk about in terms of the short-term future. Long-term future, it seems like that we will go on and kind of just see that dryness continue as we go into Friday. You move your way into Saturday, and just nice and dry conditions on go. Moving into Sunday, nice and dry weekend. Now, I do see some rain spots here and there, so it does lead me to believe that you could potentially see like a little isolated shower as we move into like Sunday, it seems almost. But I don't really think that it's going to cause really any sort of major accumulation if it continues as modeled. You continue all the way through into Monday at around like 5 o'clock p.m. Rainfall, maybe some heavy downpours trying to move its way in going into Monday. So Monday is like our first day that we really start to get back into that heavy precipitation moving throughout the state. That goes all the way through Monday. Tuesday comes along. Look at Tuesday. Really starting to get its act together in terms of rainfall activity. And that goes all the way through Wednesday. And it kind of cuts off a bit as you go into like Thursday. Friday comes along. And again, you have that area to the west that actually may be trying to move its way through. Maybe like a little front here. A little cold front definitely trying to make its way here. Could be a pretty big cold front actually. Just comparing to how that cold air is stretching all the way down, like past the coastal areas. So that could be a pretty big cold blast next weekend. So we'll talk about that as we get into the temperatures as well. Then as we continue, this is 300 plus hours out. So once we get to Monday of the week after, kind of just looks like that we're just going to be talking about just things that may happen, may not happen. And it looks like rainfall definitely is still in the forecast. I mean, I'm even seeing some winter weather here and there, but again, 300 hours out, so things will change there. Rainfall moves its way through, and by the time we get all the way into like the first couple of days of April, still shows some rainfall. And that's all that I can see here. So things don't really start to get active until you get into next week. Things don't really start to get active until you get into next week. So enjoy this week while we have it, especially as you go into this weekend. This weekend, I mean, I'm about to show you the temperatures for it. If it turns out dry like it's supposed to, I mean, this weekend could be pretty nice. So even though it's cool now, even though it's cold, and I know a lot of people don't like the cold air, one of those is me. Definitely would enjoy it this week though, because as we get into next week, things are going to start getting more active again. So we're going to have to continue to watch for that as we continue until later this week, going into early next week. But this is what I'm talking about. So we're going to start off here tomorrow morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, so a couple of hours out from now. We have cold air now 20 degrees below average. I mean, you see 15, 20, close to 23, 24 degrees below average throughout the state of South Carolina. We move into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, going into Thursday. You can start to see those temperatures starting to bring their way up a little bit. This is Thursday at 2 o'clock p.m. You can see temperatures no longer being 20 degrees below average. They're looking more like 3 to 5 degrees below average instead, which is a huge increase from what we've been seeing currently. So you're going to start seeing those temperatures start to warm up on Thursday. You move your way through even more. This is Thursday going into Friday, and now you're starting to see some oranges. You're starting to see some light colors and no longer any sort of dark colors. And you still see some white here and there. And that's one thing that I want to mention. I mentioned it before, and I'm going to say it again. Usually when you have, temperatures 5 degrees below average, 5 degrees above average, you start to kind of see that change and that shift. And you start to see some whites coming along on the map. You see around 0, -1, 2, -2, anything like that. We pretty much just call that just average. And so that's when we're starting to see that shift from really below average to average as we move into Friday. And, I'd still would consider this average. You go into around 2 to 3 degrees above average, 2 to 3 degrees below average. I say this is just normally just average as we move into Friday. Then we move our way into Saturday, and this is what I was talking about. As we move into this weekend, you're starting to see those temperatures really starting to get up. I mean, we see 10 to 11, 12 degrees above average as we move into this weekend. That is a huge increase from what we see now. I mean, that's 30 degrees above average, 30 degrees above where it is now than what we're seeing. So we'll continue all the way through Saturday afternoon, going into Sunday. I mean, Sunday comes along, and we may be trying to get to 20 degrees above average in parts of like the upstate. So easily, we're starting to see temperatures starting to increase as we go throughout this weekend. But we got to get through this middle part of the week first. We got to get through Thursday and Friday first to get through these temperatures right here. Luckily, tomorrow, we'll be halfway through the week, so we won't have too much to really say there, except for we have half of the week left to go. But things start to take a little bit of a shift. We go into Monday. Here we are. Monday comes along. And, we're still 15, 16 degrees above average, which is good. That's good. But then you start to see cold air coming in from the north and east. This is this backdoor cold front, or what a lot of people like to say, some cold air damming going on, to where on the eastern side of the mountains, you have the cold air. Western side, it's all right. They're still a bit below average, but not like 20 degrees below average. And so this backdoor front that we're going to get on Tuesday is going to really drop our temperatures down to what we're kind of seeing right now. And so that's 2 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday. 20 degrees below average, 25 degrees below average. That's what we're seeing going into early next week. Now, if we continue our way forward even more, I mean, we're still seeing temperatures trying to get to 10, 15, 20 degrees below average even on Wednesday. Luckily for us, things may try to warm up as we get a bit later into the week next week, going to like Friday. And even the weekend, I mean, just looks chilly just overall. So that's why I said, and I'm going to repeat it, make sure you enjoy this week, especially as you get into this weekend, because Cold Air City is definitely coming back by the time we get into next week. And we may have some warm-ish air as we go into later parts of next week, but it's going to get taken over real quick by any sort of cold air that comes by, which is going to be pretty often. So expect that to occur. So now that's the anomalies, but what about the actual temperatures themselves? You're like, okay, that's cool and all, but what about the actual temperatures? Well, tonight, obviously, we know freezing is definitely going to happen throughout a good amount of the state tonight. But if we continue our way through Thursday, Friday comes along, we start to get out of that range of freezing temperatures. And we continue through Friday morning right here. I mean, low temperatures getting into like the 40s or so. But we start to get back up into the 70s a little bit as we go into like Friday during the day. And so that continues through Saturday. Saturday, we start to see high 70s. I mean, we're starting to see a very, very nice weekend as we get into this weekend in terms of temperatures. And then look at Sunday. Sunday being the warmest day, showing widespread 80s throughout almost all of the state. That's what we want to see. That is what we like to see. We go into Monday. Monday just looks 84, 85. I mean, we see 70s near the coastal areas. We see 81 in Myrtle Beach. I mean, this is definitely looking like Monday is going to be one of the warmest days throughout the state for a good little bit, unless things change, which is obviously possible. But we continue through. There goes that backdoor cold front moving through on Tuesday, and we start to receive high temperatures in the like 40s. But gotta remember, this cold front happens during the daytime or during like the early morning hours, which means that when those temperatures start to drop, it's going to be during the day instead of during the night, meaning that your low temperatures are actually going to be during the nighttime hours, and your high temperatures, your high temperatures will be inside of the nighttime hours, and your low temperatures are going to be kind of like during the daytime. So that's going to happen. You move through Tuesday, 8 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday, 11 o'clock in the morning, all the way to 5 o'clock p.m. I mean, we're seeing 40s and even some 50s going on as we go into Tuesday. After that, though, we push this forward. I mean, low temperatures really starting to get down to like the 30s. But again, nothing freezing. I'm not seeing any sort of freezing temperatures down to like the low 30s, high 20s, or anything like that. So if you are not a huge cold weather fan, at least you don't have to prepare for any sort of freezing temperatures, I would say. You continue through, and then we have another big time cold front coming through, but not before we get to some 80s on Friday, potentially, going into next week, Friday. But some more freezing temperatures may be trying to move its way through as you get into the week after next weekend. So, again, a lot of stuff is going to change there. If we go into the ensembles here, the GEFS, and we look at the mean temperatures, meaning the average, throughout different members, pushing this forward. I mean, we're still seeing 40s. I'm not seeing crazy 30s or anything like that. And for the most part, if I'm just taking it on an average, we move into Saturday the 28th, going into Sunday, temperatures up into the 60s, going to the 40s a little bit. That's subjected to change. Going into Monday and Tuesday of March the 30th and the 31st, showing some temperatures trying to get back up into the 70s as we enter April. So that could be something to look forward to. And maybe even as we go through the next couple of days of April, we could see some 80s coming back. But that's pretty much all that I have to say here in terms of the long-term future. And like I said, not too much in terms of precipitation. I mean, there's not really any sort of big storm system that we're talking about until maybe like a little bit later, going into like maybe next weekend, like the later parts of next week. So, I mean, we have a nice week this week, and then even early part, I mean, it could be pretty nice as well. Except for maybe just some rainfall activity here and there, but like nothing too bad in terms of like storm wise. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, Mr. Chris was here first tonight. He says, good evening, everyone. Sorry I missed last night. No problem. Currently, it's 43 degrees here. Moncks Corner got to around 54. Well, at my house today, it's 39. Currently, as we speak, high temperature was 52. Maya Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris comes back and says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. It helps the channel grow. Absolutely. Right now, we are at, 16 people tuned in and only 10 likes. If you are a part of that group of 6 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. Maya Lewis says, I pray that everyone enjoyed their day. Well, thank you so much for that. And then she also says today in Georgetown we had lots of sunshine. However, it was a bit cold. It was a bit cold out there today, but chilly throughout the state. Thad says, good evening, Justin, the 360 weather family. It was a beautifully mild day here in San Antonio. Well, thank you so much for that weather update. We will talk about San Antonio in just a little bit. Mr. Chris says, well, the same way here in Monk's Corner. And continue our way down. Mount Lewis says our high temperature in Georgetown was 52. Well, thank you for that. Thad says, my wife and I just walked in from mowing and edging the yard. I actually got to lay down some fertilizer in preparation for sprinklers tomorrow. Well, thank you so much for that information. Glad that y'all are able to go on and get that stuff down, get that stuff started as well. As I'm assuming you mean sprinklers like home, like irrigation, because obviously for you, you're not going to see any sort of rainfall just for a good little minute. So I'm assuming. Continuing our way down even more. Mount Lewis says currently it's 42 degrees. They can keep that snow. And then Thad says the temperature got up to 69 degrees. Not too shabby for March. Tonight we're looking at around 47 to 61 through the night. I'll go in and look at that for you. I mean, right now, obviously, let's see. The temperature right now over there is 66. So things that probably will change up a little bit as you move into like the nighttime hours. So, and obviously all are an hour behind. So it's 8:20 right now. So yeah. Then continue our way down even more. I noticed that we will warm up for the weekend. Yes, we will. Just got the alert from Charleston National Weather Service. Freeze warning was issued. Yeah, that was issued a bit earlier today. I think it was actually probably early this morning. I got it. And wasn't too shocked. Obviously, we knew that freezing temperatures were coming in, so I wasn't too shocked by it. Milo says, I didn't spend much time outside. However, I did do some indoor planning because of the freezing temperatures. Well, yes. I didn't spend too much time outside either. I mean, to be honest. So I did not spend too much time outside either. I barely got outside except for maybe like a minute or two this morning, and then probably around like 2-3 minutes tonight. So I was not outside much at all, but I do got to go back out there though. So probably just out in the garage actually, or I may go outside. Either one. Continue our way down. My name says hello, Jay. Hello to you. Trail says greetings, everyone. It's 35 degrees here. Thank you so much for that weather update. Wow, more cold blast. Mr. Anthony says good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Milo says 80s. I love it. Hopefully there will be no changes. Not looking like much changes as we go into this weekend. 80s are definitely coming back this weekend. And then Mr. Chris says, you know the weather is crazy and subjected to change. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's all that I can see here. I don't see anything else. We will talk about the top fans in just a moment, but let's go in and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations, what am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and give them their forecast for them. Even though South Carolina is not even their main location. They still show up. They still show support. So we go in and give them their forecast for them. So we're going to start off with San Antonio first. These forecasts are relatively quick, and they're going to be pretty quick tonight because there's not a whole lot to talk about for any of these areas. So for San Antonio first, low temperatures tonight at 45, high temperatures for tomorrow at 78, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 53. Precipitation not expected at this time. It's going to be dry. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, not expected. Just precipitation in general as you move throughout the next 7 days are not expected. Is not expected at all. Even as you go into this weekend, though, it's going to be hot. You know, Saturday 95, Sunday 95. So it's going to be hot. Friday 91. Then as you go into next week, things will start to cool down. 88 Monday, 86 on Tuesday in terms of your highs. Low temperatures will just continue to stay in the 50s and 60s. But other than that, I mean, nothing else to talk about for you. For Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 28, high temperatures for tomorrow at 48, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 31. Precipitation is not expected for tonight, And tomorrow, same thing. In fact, no severe weather, no excessive rainfall, and no precipitation for you for the next 7 days, looking like you will be warming up. 59 on Thursday, 67 on Friday, 73 on Saturday. And so it will continue to rise up and up and up till Sunday. You'll be up to 79, reaching and knocking on the door to 80. Now, Monday will come along. Things will start to cool down, obviously, due to that backdoor front that we're going to be talking about Same thing for South Carolina as well. So you will be cooling down, 57 being your high for next week on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens there, but definitely going to cool down as you go into next week. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 26, high temperatures for tomorrow at 42, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 29. Scattered flurries are possible, mainly before 10 o'clock p.m., so you have like another 30 minutes or so of them. But after that, no precipitation is really expected for you at this time, and it's not going to cause any sort of accumulation or anything like that. Precipitation not expected, excessive rainfall, severe weather. Your next chance of rainfall will be Thursday night, 20%, Friday night, 30%, and then Saturday, 30%. But other than that, just kind of staying low in terms of precipitation as you move throughout the next week or so. And your temperatures for you are going to continue to kind of just stay in the 50s. You're not really going to get out of the 50s. You're going to stay in that area. And even as you go into next week, obviously, due to that backdoor front, those temperatures will be trying to get up or trying to get down into the 40s for your highs. You may reach 60 one day, now that I look at it. Sunday, 63. So you may try to get up into like the 60s that one day, but then that 50s continuing. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 43, high temperatures for tomorrow at 80, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 50. Precipitation, not expected. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, that's not expected. And it looks like that you're going to continue to be up into the 90s as we go into like as early as Thursday, 91 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 95, Sunday, 94, and then it will start to calm down at 75 on Monday, 81 on Tuesday. So your temperatures will continue to go up and up until they'll try and go down and down as you go in, after you go into this weekend. It seems like that's the trend for all four of these areas. As you get into the weekend, you're going to be warm, and it looks like that's looking like what a lot of us are going to do. But then after next weekend, or after this weekend, it seemed like that we all are just going to start going down in terms of temperatures. But that's all that I have to say here in terms of these four areas. Let's see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise, and we'll go ahead and check out the top fans of the night for tonight. An anonymously early heat wave will continue to intensify and expand across the west and the southwest as the week progresses. Numerous daily and potentially monthly record highs are expected to be broken. Critical fire weather conditions will continue over the next couple of days across the portions of the high plains as gusty winds and dry conditions persist. We also will see some widespread freezing going on all the way from portions of like Mississippi all the way up through the Carolinas and up into like the mid-Atlantic areas. And then we'll also see some freezing as far down south as like Florida. And then for the most part, some snowfall continuing over there in the Midwest, the Great Lakes areas. And I don't see anything else too crazy. So I think that's all I have to say there. Let's check out the chat. Don't see anything else here for me for tonight. So I'm going to assume that that's all. Top fans of the night for tonight. Seems like if I go ahead and count these up real quick, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So very close, but Mr. Chris came at number 1 today. Monlu was at number 2. And then Thad was at number 3. So congratulations to the three of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. early. Also being here, being active inside the chat as well, and being a subscriber, because if you're not a subscriber, you can't type in general, so you have to be a subscriber. So let's go ahead and give them 3 a round of applause. And that's all that I have to say for tonight. So remember, if you have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button. We're at 723, trying to get to 800. Just two subscribers away from 725. We'll be a quarter of the way there. And then we will be right now 77 away from the main goal, 800 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer and closer. And remember, share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to, because it's free and you can change your mind at any time. And that's all that I can see here. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow for your Wednesday morning forecast update, and tomorrow evening for your Wednesday evening forecast update. We will be halfway through the week as we go into tomorrow. Make sure you tune in and hit those 2 buttons before you leave.
Off of your feet. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk, you knocks me out off of my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk and you talk that talk, you knocks me out off my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down off of your feet. How, 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 how.
Hey.